Two Nigerians vote without PVCs. Sanwo-Olu death toll from train accident now 6. Victims need blood donors. Train accident, many cars stopped, but driver moved towards the rail track, says NRC. Registry of participant customers concerned CBN issues guidelines for evening bank. All right, Wike, those who violated PDP constitution and zoning will be shown the way out. And of course, let's take two more this morning. Friday onwards to APC National Welfare Secretary is dead. Hilda De Cubo, appointed chair of Rivers Labour Party Steering Committee. And the last one here says, laughable charade. Lagos APC condemns Afeniferi's endorsement of Rhodes Vivo for governor.
All right, and the Premium Times newspaper this morning analysis factors that helped structureless OB score over 6 million presidential votes. And away from that, 4 candidates hopeful in race to succeed Governor Umahi in Ebonyi. Analysis as well, can Catholic priest help APC reclaim Benue State from PDP? Photos, 2 killed as train crushes Lagos staff bus. It's official, INEC postponed Saturday's governorship state assembly elections. Update, okay, away from that one, I think that's the much to take from the Premium Times. 1 killed as Dogara campaigns for APC candidates in Bauchi governor's hometown.
All right, now to the Vanguard newspaper. This is talking about old notes. Cash crunch worsens as Nigerians wait on Buhari. Okay, and here also says train BRT crash. We begged driver to wait, but he refused. Survivor is coming up with this. There are plans to cause chaos after Giver Post. DSS wants Nigerians. And still in the latest news here on the front page of the Vanguard, Naira redesign cash crunch may worsen forex shortage. Fitch is actually coming up with that. NLRC extends Betway Nigeria's operation for 5 years. 2023, Sanwo-Olu reassures business community of good governance. And here we also have FG Mars unbundling Nigerian Airways for optimal performance. 1,332 terrorist families surrender to troops. And let's take 2 more. NLC strike throws Owerri. Everyone's into darkness. Governorship poll, court orders INEC to allow temporary voters card. And that's about it from the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, and to the Daily Post newspaper, ex-CJN Tanko yet to get entitlements 9 months after leaving office. Biafra, Supreme Court obstructed Nnamdi Kanu from getting justice. This is from IPOB. Many fear dead as BRT bus collides with train in Lagos. Will chase Atiku Ayu from PDP, Wike vows. Presidential election, Obi Atiku begin battle to obtain Tinubu victory. This one also says online sports bet rises in Nigeria as Match Center reviews reason to visit land-based betting shops. And still on the Daily Post Guba election, INEC CSOs must accelerate efforts against voters' apathy. Group NCC spotlights renewable energy on World Consumer Rights Day. Ekiti model of women empowerment, inclusive governance. This is coming from the speaker. Governor Yebanji commiserates with Sanwo-Olu Lagosians over train accident. We accept INEC decision in good faith. Jigawa PDP gubernatorial candidate Lamido. Katsina PDP in court over alleged diversion of 1.05 billion naira. Ogun East PDP ADC stalwarts to camp to APC. State polls at APC backs INEC. Postponement insists Tinubu election credible. Ogun Guba, Atiku's polling agents, Kashamu, Adebutu loyalists declare support for Governor Abiodun, APC. And finally, on the Daily Post, while we move to another paper, ex-PDP governorship candidate Nasco camps to APC in Niger.
All right, now to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, we have real reason why INEC postponed governorship state assembly election. And of course, more of the headlines also says chief is cancelled, fan orders scored low on ease of doing business compliance. FCT monarch slumps, dies in palace. Okay, woman sues hubby for deny her conjugal rights. All right, this also says politicians collected our account numbers without paying. Niger voters cry out. And still on the election, okay, this says Ogun assures speedy completion of jetty. Court remands 2 men for shooting 2 brothers to death. And let's see if we could get more here. This talks about Lagos train crash. Sanwo-Olu suspends campaign as death toll rises to 6. Governorship post, court orders INEC to allow use of temporary voters card. Railway Corporation MD gives update on Lagos train accident. ISWAP kills 35 IDPs fishing in Borno. All right, that's about it coming from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. All right, we'll move over to another paper right about now.
All right, moving to The Nation. INEC rejects ruling on temporary voters' cards use. Survivors recount moment train slammed into bus. APC National Welfare Officer feared dead in Abuja. Court restrains Seplat boss Roger Brown from CEO role. Appeal Court reserves judgment in PDP's case against Tinubu Shetima. APC, Wike to employ 10,000 youths, approves workers' promotion. APC uncovers plot by fake Nadeco chief to discredit polls. Buhari Tinubu Lagos train bus accidents distressing. Wike will chase away Atiku. Others rebuild PDP. INEC rejects ruling on temporary voters' cards use. APC, LP, and NPP differ on poll shift. And we'll just take a couple more while we move to another paper. Swagger chief re-elect Lagos governor. And okay, this is where we call it a wrap, and then from the headlines, and then head on to the commercials. We're back.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
It's time to enjoy fast and reliable internet connection for less.
It's time to go big in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer.
It's time to take advantage in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer. Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabyte bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240 gigabyte bonus data for just 10,000 naira. Visit any INT'L shop or www.airtel.com.ng/HBB now.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
So, as you wake up one first check highlight for early momo, you can remember, say, time for school runs don't reach you. Bola we sabi, the 1-4% hand for there. How you go do your thing, can still catch up with your game. That na Bola we sabi. How you go do your waka, can still watch the game full time. Abi, come on, Bola. Showmax dey your side. Sake of say, them they summer you with better leagues for any screen, anytime, any day. No matter where you dey. For chicken money will be 3,200 naira a month. Live from Supersport on Showmax Pro. Make you sign up for showmax.com.
Babe, how we want to pay for baking course? With small money where person they make.
Course? No bitters have bake like bro. No worry, I get plan.
You get plan.
I get super binge plan.
For whatever you want to learn on YouTube, you need a plan like the INT'L Super Binge Plan. Simply dial *141*514# now to enjoy 2 gigabyte of data and 1 hour worth of free YouTube data every day for just 500 naira.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
32 FM 94.9.
It's unfortunate. We want to commiserate with the families of those who lost their loved ones in this unfortunate and avoidable circumstance. It's avoidable because in every decent society, when we were growing up, in every railway crossing, we usually have a police post that they will put a barricade here. As soon as they trace the train coming from a far distance, they block the entrance, so no vehicle can come in and go out until the train passes. But unfortunately, maybe because of the reconstruction that is going on, but even at that, we must still also put safety measures in place, because as a matter of fact, let's be truthful to ourselves, we have citizens that are not also willing to obey laws. Yes, as we have on the side of the government, we have on the part of the citizens. Information that I have was that they stopped the BRT bus from passing, but he said he thought he could be faster than the train. Hence, this avoidable tragedy. Both citizens and the government must be willing to do what is right. Most of the time, you discover that even look at our road, simple road traffic, people don't obey traffic laws. So if we have citizens that are willing to obey laws, an accident occurred this morning, the death could have been avoided along the Mero this morning. The death could have been avoided if the driver uses the seat belt. Look at our roads, how many of them are using seat belts? It's very, very unfortunate.
All right, you're welcome back. You see on to 32 FM 94.9 People's Review. It's the breakdown. And of course, my name is GBOLABO Female School.
DENIKE and Professor Olu Ojedoku joins us this morning for the analysis. And of course, we just played you an insert from the train bus crash that happened yesterday. So far, investigations have been launched about that particular incident. Prof, it's good that investigation has been launched because looking at some of the videos that have surfaced online, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense how that accident must have happened. Do BRT now use rail tracks to get to their destinations?
Well, top of the day, it's a sad day, sad for those who have lost their lives, but also sad for those who have been maimed. But also sad because it seems as if lawlessness has been carried to another level. You were asking that you didn't know how the bus got there. It's momentum, it's physics. Of course, what he attempted to do was to cross. And of course, the train being very fast, and of course, having many trains behind it, many carriages, of course, carried it for as far as it could before it came to a halt. It is needless, it ought not to have happened. And I think the blame, even before an inquiry, the blame has to go to the government in terms of not having a barrier, not having traffic lights all over the world. When you have rails going through busy areas, even non-solitary areas, you have traffic lights, and then you have a barrier that stops people because human beings always want to take a risk. And of course, you have to blame the driver. I don't know what kind of training he had or what kind of character he was. He is. I understand he's been arrested. Of course, he has to be investigated because we were not there. But the people that were there said that he defied all pleas, and decided to go through. But to me, my own concern is the aftercare. I saw many of them on television, being laid out in the emergency on the floor in front of the emergency hospital, emergency department. And you would have thought, that many of them would have been wielding. Is it because we have inadequate facilities? What exactly is going on? But I'm glad that the appeal for blood has been made, and I would also join the appeal. That if you're in Lagos and you can give blood, then go down to the hospital. I don't know where the hospital is, but I'm sure we can find out and give blood, because these people, it's not really their fault that they find themselves in this circumstance.
Would we now say, as a matter of fact, that this is part of the weak institutions we keep talking about? Because if you could look at what people even said, people who are used to how the rail tracks, for instance, are being manned and are being policed, said as a matter of fact that there should be some surveillance around those areas and gates are supposed to be closed when they sight a train coming. But none of those precautions are there any longer. Would we now say there is a total breakdown of our institutional system in Nigeria, so to say now?
I think for a long time we've not had rail. In the 70s and the 80s, when I was growing up, when I came back to this country, there were rail. And so, of course, people were used to it. Now people are not used to it. A lot of the rail that have been resuscitated have been used to lay out wares, sell things. So people are not necessarily used to it. That's part of it. Also, secondly, people also sabotage this rail. That people actually go and steal this rail iron for whatever reason, maybe because of poverty or also because of sheer criminality. So part of it is that the government also is building this rail and spending a lot of money. But little thought has been given to the protection of the car drivers. They have not put these things in place. So I guarantee you, I bet you, and I may be wrong, that I don't think there's any barriers that stops, cars from going along. And if there was, maybe there wasn't sufficiently, maybe it's not automated, because normally these things are automated from that point of view. So I think a massive re-education needs to go out, particularly with the blue line that has come on board. The blue line is electric. It therefore means that if you go on that rail, you'll be, electrocuted, you understand? And that's the danger of the blue line. at least this is not electrified, as it were.
So there must be awareness, so to say.
Yes, there has to be awareness.
All right, Prof. I also wanted to put this up. Pole shift may cost Nigeria more than $2.23 billion suffered in 2019. Now, is it that we're very wasteful here? Shouldn't have INEC seen into the future that if these things happen, like for instance the Beavers reconfiguration, it's an issue that INEC knows that it's going to happen. Now, why wait this long? Because obviously we know that after elections there will be grievances, there will be individuals asking for petitions, and they want to actually look at what INEC has used for the processes. Now, why do we have to expend or have this kind of expenditure loss? $2.23 billion. That's a lot of money for my economy.
Yeah. Some will say hubris. And what do I mean by that? This was the chairman of INEC on November 2022 that he said this will be the best election ever, and it seems to me that INEC are either deluded and inefficient, or there's some sabotage going on somewhere. It's quite clear that in every election we've had in this country, presidential particularly, except the Jonathan one where he lost, we've always had election petitions. It therefore means that any equipment being used will be subject to inspection. This is the form. It's not something novel. It's not something new. In fact, it's routine. So you would have expected it would have taken that into account. The problem we have in this country is that nobody's going to be fired. That's the problem.
Heads won't roll.
Heads will not roll, in spite of the monumental losses. Well, to me, it's monumental. They may not feel that we are experiencing as a result of it. Is it just that? We are supposed to return back to our campuses on Monday. And now we're now being told, you understand, that the federal government's extending it, from that point of view. I don't think it's officially confirmed, but that's the feel that we are getting, from that point of view. What of the loss? What of the students, you understand, that have to sit some examinations? What of those that have arranged, you may even argue that social events don't matter, but they matter. Those that have shifted, or the marriages or weddings or whatever occasion. Because the day of election, what do you have? You have curfew. And now they are left with egg on their faces. So it's needless. They ought to have made these precautions or arrangements and the timetabling, you understand, from that point of view, to take into account that maybe you would need 4 weeks between the election, or maybe even do all the elections on one day. The cost to the economy of having elections staggered is quite monumental, and I think we need to revisit this staggering of elections. In countries around the world, Britain, United States of America, they have it on the same day. Can we not graduate to that extent where we have elections on the same day so that the disruption to life, to property, to businesses, you understand, is minimized?
All right, this headline says, we'll chase Atiku, are you from PDP? Wike vows. Wike blamed the loss of the PDP in the just concluded presidential election on those who refused to obey the constitution of the PDP. Now, one would think that the PDP lost the election, Wike would back down and allow peace to reign, but that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. Is this leaning towards bitterness or the fight for equity?
You see, there's a time for everything, and certainly now is not the time for brickbats. It's quite clear that Wike is pursuing this to its logical conclusion. It's quite clear that he cannot stand Atiku, and he cannot stand certain people in this party, and you wonder why he still remains within the party. He also forgets that come May 29th, I believe it's the May 29th.
Yeah.
Come May 29th, he will be the ex-governor of Rivers State. The immunity that he presently has will no longer be there. People will be able to pursue him for all kinds of things. And then he will not have the gravitas, he will not have the instrument of state that he presently has. And the access, you understand, to the finances that he has. I don't know whether he's a billionaire or millionaire, but I know that he spends a lot of money for the political party. So I think it's wishful thinking for him to be going on and against Atiku and members of the party at this point in time. Secondly, you should respect the fact, whether I disagreed or not, is that the party made the choice and the party is in the tribunal at this present time. Yes, mistakes have been made, and I'll be the first to admit it. But I don't think quibbles, you understand, and
while they should have gotten their permanent vote.
To act is clear. You have your PVCs. You can't use the temporary one. If you use the temporary one, even though it's been so ordered by the court, from that point of view, because the Beavers doesn't recognize temporary cards. What it recognizes is the actual cards. But I can see why the judgment was made, because there have been rumors, not even rumors, we've seen pictures of abandoned PVCs all over the country, just scattered there, and people there, and people were actually frustrated, you understand. We don't know whether it was an act of voter suppression or whether it was deliberate, but we know that a lot of PVCs were denied to people. And maybe that's why the judge said, okay, if this person had done everything they should do and their PVCs was missing, then why should it be their fault? I can see what the judge is saying, but this is a recipe for, well, I have to be very careful. I'm still a member of the bar, but they will appeal. The INEC would appeal, and then we'll see what the appeal court says.
All right.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about what you just said. The army retrieved, according to the report, it was reported that the army retrieved 1,671 PVCs and ballot papers in Lagos. Now, this finding PVCs in random places has occurred now more than once this year. What is the implication of this? Do we drag INEC into this? Because there's a saying that when something goes on in an organization, someone somewhere knows about it.
Of course someone knows about it. We have to drag INEC. There are some people who have suggested that INEC in certain states have been partisan. And the way they are partisan is that PVCs that are supposed to be given to people are denied them. I have some people, you understand, who told me, you understand, that they had to masquerade as members of a certain political party, you understand, I won't mention the political party, before they could get PVCs. And that narrative, this buys into that narrative, that there are particular areas, we don't know what areas because it's not been mentioned, but there are particular areas where denying of PVC, you understand, or hiding or dodging or whatever they did with the PVC was one of the means and strategies for electoral success. And people have been arguing that this is a form of voter suppression. Because if we say that almost 90 million or 89 million, you understand, were registered, and then the accredited, you understand, was 24 million, little wonder, you understand, from that point of view, why there are a lot of people who are not accredited, because if you don't have your card, even if you are registered, you understand, there's no way that you can even go through the means of accreditation. So I hope this will be investigated. I hope people will be brought to book, and I hope somebody will take responsibility.
All right, let's look at the narrow notes again. And of course, Akredolu of Ondo State is saying, why inflict pain on yourself? Self-induced pain here. And is asking the resident of the state to start collecting the old narrow notes. Now, even if the banks are issuing or dispensing these old narrow notes, the banks, from what I heard, are not collecting the monies back. So what will happen to the economy? They pushed it out. We use it for businesses, and now to take it to the bank says no. But they are dispensing it. Now, how do we handle this? And now for Ondo State Governor saying these are self-induced inflictions. Collect these monies and do businesses within yourself.
The economy is reeling. Enikins is the second largest brewery in the world. And they said for the first time in February, they posted monumental losses. That's Enikins. And that's just one. That's beer. Beer is a luxury, it's not an essential. And so you begin to imagine those things that are really essential and those other things that are, they call them, what do they call them, fast-moving goods and so on and so forth. So the economy has been affected, from that point of view. And I can't understand why the banks will not obey the law. But I can also understand that there's an economic law. In other words, that once you've lost confidence in a currency, you understand? No matter what you legislate, people are just not going to buy it. People are not going to go for it. And I think the National Orientation Commission, needs to play a role there to encourage people, at least for the next 12 months, not 12 months, 7 months or 8 months, to accept these notes. The economy has to move on. The economy has come to a halt. People are unable to do much business because obviously people are rejecting money. And I tell you a more adverse situation that is occurring. If you go to the banks, nobody's depositing money. People are taking money out, but they're not depositing. And the only way an economy can grow, you understand, is for the banks to grant loans, soft loans, and credit. How can they grant soft loans and credit when they have no money coming in? You understand? But some people would argue that the money coming in is by transfers. So there's still a level of money coming in. But a significant amount of money is not coming in. So the government, you understand, has to use these agencies. And I give kudos to the governor of Ondo State for using the bully pulpit to encourage traders and people to, of course, to accept those notes and to use them in exchange and for commerce.
All right, INEC rejects Labour Party's request to witness Beaver's reconfiguration. According to this report, it says that the INEC has refused to reconfigure the bimodal voter accreditation system machines with the Labour Party officials present. And they asked, Labour Party asked, in quote, are we privy or invited to see what was being backed up? If there's going to be transparency, what INEC needs to do is to invite everybody with their technological experts to see what the commission intends to back up from the original source. If there's transparency, is there anything to fear?
There's nothing to fear, except some shenanigans are going on. I'm really getting despondent with the way INEC is going about. If INEC feels that this election was fairly conducted, if INEC feels that they have nothing to hide, and that their declaration and return, you understand, of the president-elect and other officers are kosher, are in alignment with the law, then what's the problem? Allow labor to, to tire themselves out. Allow labor to expend their money, to observe. That makes people, people are already doubting, you understand, the transparency, the accountability, and the impartiality of INEC. And this gives, you understand, needless concern and needless suspicion. So I'm really concerned, you understand, that if this is a country, we want a country of fairness and of justice, then let it be seen to be done and let it be done. Otherwise, what we are saying that it pays to be crooked or it pays not to be transparent. We don't know whether dodgy things have gone on in this election. But the only way that we can discover it is if the political parties are given the opportunity to view the evidence and tender the evidence in court. I hope that Labour Party and PDP or parties concerned will follow this through, bring it to the attention of the court, and that judicial notice will be taken of this. But again, this is Nigeria.
All right, quickly, before we go on the break, I just wanted to put this also up. There've been wave of endorsement in Oyo State as we speak. And of course, it appears that it's getting quite interesting. And I wouldn't say that is it proper democracy to have instances of people who have campaigned rigorously for these elections, and you have party structures being collapsed, and we're having divisions within the political parties saying, I'm still the candidate, I'm still running, like what is happening to DENIKE of Accord Party. Now, what do we make of all of this? Like Inside Oyo is capturing all of this morning. What do we make out of this wave of endorsement going on within the politics in Oyo State ahead of the governorship elections?
I don't have any evidence, but it's quite apparent that Shishi has been changing hands. No, it's quite apparent because there cannot be any reasonable reason why some people are dropping now. Do you know why? A lot of these people are also contesting House of Assembly seats. And when you drop your candidate, you understand, what you're doing is you're foreclosing victory at the House of Assembly. You're also foreclosing a very constructive, strong, powerful opposition. Yes, some people know that, okay, maybe the governor is going to be retained. Maybe, because I'm not an oracle. But what they also want is to have effective opposition. What they want is to have constructive, critical friends. And of course, when this political party go behind the scene and pull the rug from their candidates and say, you understand, that they've collapsed the structure, whatever structure it is, it's a betrayal of the candidate. So I think there's something going on amiss. And I think whether they withdraw or not, the candidate's name is on the ballot and people will vote accordingly.
All right, we have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll open the phone lines to take your reactions. Stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
I know say everybody getting time, I don't go lose faith. As I dey hustle every day, I know they look face. Cause I know say one day I go make up. Yes, I know say one day I go blow. We move, we move, we move, we move, we move. We move, we move, we move, we move, we move. Yeah, yeah. Cause I know say one day I go make up. Yes, I know say one day I go blow. We move, we move, we move, we move, we move. We move, we move, we move, we move.
Turn that fear into victory.
Cause I know say one day I go make
What are we doing today?
So, as you wake up one first check highlight for early momo, you can remember, say, time for school runs on ritual. Bola we sabi be 1-4% hand for there. How you go do your thing? Come still catch up with your game. That na Bola we sabi. How you go do your waka? Come still watch the game full time. Abi, come on, Bola. Showmax dey your side. Sake of say them dey summer you with better leagues for any screen, anytime, any day. No matter where you dey. For chicken money will be 3,200 naira a month. Live from Supersport on Showmax Pro. Make you sign up for showmax.com.
It's time to enjoy fast and reliable internet connection for less.
It's time to go big in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer.
It's time to take advantage in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer. Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabyte bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240 gigabyte bonus data for just 10,000 naira. Visit any INT'L shop or www.airtel.com.ng/HBB now.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
We fill the world with laughter. We are 32 FM 94.9.
0705 5949 and 0809 7909. We're also live on Facebook. It is facebook.com/32FM949 Ibadan. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Binga Mario calling from Apata. Well, on this day that happened in Lagos yesterday, I sympathize with the people of Lagos, and I pray that the good Lord will give the family of the bereaved the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. And on the issue of IU and Wike, I think Wike traded his legendary victory to win IU. I think what's his name? Atiku Abubakar should have listened to what the G5 governor are saying. And some of the G5 governors, they are paid dearly for what really happened. Like Samuel Otom in Benue State, I really paid dearly for what happened. And some of the G5 governors, God will not allow Governor Chimakinde to also pay dearly. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. So, DENIKE and GBOLABO. This is Shegun from Oyo. Anytime there is accident, we blame government. The bus driver was stopped. He did not stop. That's a crash. Go to Sango, you see people trading on railway line. Go to Bodija. There should be common sense among we masses. The problem is every time government. What about we masses? Two, about Labour Party said they want to spread consideration of visas. I want to ask whether there is a law that allow external people to come and inspect it. It is internal aspect of violence. Labour Party should go and sit down and go and face their legal battle in appeal court. They should leave the INEC alone. Have a nice time. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take some Facebook comments.
All right, we have this coming from Boluwatife Ademi Junwo. Says, good morning. Campaign is getting interesting as politicians in Oyo State are exchanging banters. But I will only urge the good people of Oyo State not to fall for their lies and deceit. They should not forget the administration that benefited virtually everybody in the state. They should not forget the person that gives them access to free health care. And another campaign here.
Hello, good morning.
Right. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Okay, 0705 5949 and 0809 7909. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. All right, we can hear you. Go on.
Thank you. I think
please do call us back. It's quite unclear. Hello. Okay, we'll move on to more Facebook comments. Okedun Babatune says the driver of BRT may have mental issues. How can you see a moving train but decide not to stop? Definitely something is wrong with the driver. Hello.
John Joko is my name. Shenanigans is actually going on the part of INEC concerning the recently concluded presidential election. INEC chairman carries a very gentle face for whom a lot of people, including myself, did an absolute trust before the election. For the outcome and the surroundings, I quite agree that there's no how to find a man's consumption in the face. The INEC chairman presently is a disappointment to the nation. I'm done with on Joko. Thank you.
All right. Let's take more comments on Facebook. And Raji Afiz Abiola Raja says, good morning, DENIKE and GBOLABO. About postponement of March 11 gubernatorial election by INEC, I think INEC have to be blamed for this postponement because are they being the INEC acquired the sophisticated beavers that have higher storage memory? The situation may have not happened. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Miriam. I'm calling from Woodley.
All right, Miriam, let's give it a shot again.
All right. I sympathize with the victim. Sounds like the train is working. They don't use the families and those are not their life. How that's the area. But I hope the cashless policy will not have friends who are lying in the because this is most of people do not take transfer. I think this is a good policy.
Yeah. Hello, good morning. Okay, Tolokwe Adeyemi on Facebook says, good morning. The train and BRT crash is quite unfortunate because death toll is now about 6, while many people are seriously injured. But I believe these ugly incidents can be avoided if Nigerians are law-abiding citizens. And what if... okay, we'll just skip that comment. Hello?
Hello, my sister. Good morning.
Good morning.
My daughter calling from Oyo. You see, Yoruba used to say that see Ọlọ́run bá rí ẹ, jẹ́ kéèyàn náà rí ẹ. That is, if God sees you, let the people also see you. What INEC has done, in fact, with this supervision of this, I think INEC is not sincere. I know this from Adam that this man, Yakubu, what do you call him, is not going to be sincere person. And if you look at what Obasanjo just said also, that somebody collected 250 billion, and coupled with this issue that Labour Party should not inspect anything, that it's supposed to be transparency. If truly you conducted a good, free and fair election, you should not even desist anybody from checking what you have used. So it makes this INEC chairman and some politicians, they collaborate together to rig this election for the mandate.
Okay, thank you so much for your comment. Hello. All right, the numbers 0705 500949 and 0809 7949. I believe we still have some comments on our Facebook.
Here, yes. Omeya Rufus Adini says INEC shouldn't allow any political party reconfiguration beavers. Okay, reconfigure beavers. I think that's what he meant. Can you allow your child beware tracker installed in your car? All right.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
About the incident that happened in Lagos between the BRT and Ridgeway, so unfortunate. So may Almighty God comfort the family of those that lost their life in that tragic event. About the INEC, see, we are assisting it. INEC, they are not prepared enough because despite the amount of money they budget for that election, they're supposed to make a provision of 2 beavers per polling unit. So that means the extra one, they use it for gubernatorial election instead of giving postponement on it. About the endorsement in the LCC, we are in political season. Different political parties, they will try to join the moving train. Well, I know that the good people of your state, they will still cast their vote for the continuity of good governance that we experience in your state. That's my own take this morning.
All right, Miriam Yetune says, good morning. Indeed, INEC officials truly need to up their game on this gubernatorial election because we can't afford to get it wrong again, because I want to believe INEC had a whole lot of time to prepare and put things in place. Credibility is what we want, and I pray the Lord will lead them right, or your residents should go out massively and vote to retain good governance. Okay. All right, more calls. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you. Please go on.
Hello, good morning.
We can hear you. Please go on. Continue.
About what happened in Lagos, about what is happening in Lagos, it's unfortunate, and I pray that God will console everybody that is involved. It's most unfortunate, but at the end of the day, the DRT driver will be found portable. That is very, very obvious. Now about the Labour Party, their standing that they must witness what is happening. You see, we must not allow our political leaders to put our country in jeopardy. The INEC has gone to court to say they want to reconfigure. Why did Labour not say, okay, we are going to join them? You see, look, this is an internal thing. This is how the problem we are having an election. If I want to get it better, I was around when 63 election was held, 79 held, 83 held in the days of Abedino and Amobi, of which we have infected scenario. And also for that, there's no election we hold in this country that will not be Wahala. Why do all this service? Why can't you do that? If you don't win now, you will win the institution. So I think we don't need to put our country, and we don't need to put a state our country at this because of election. Good morning.
All right.
Well, I think the court order is quite clear that they would ensure that most of the information is retrieved and backed up before the reconfiguration. I don't think it's out of place for Labour to insist that that is done. That's what they're insisting, that what is done. So it's not allowing our political inclination to influence. That's the court order. Please check it, sir.
All right, it's time for us to go. So I guess Prof has given his final thoughts on some of the issues. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I am DENIKE Ademuwagun.
And I'm GBOLABO Female School. Do have a terrific Friday.